only the second time the Vice actually got through for Impaler.
The thing is, I think that both migxa and Unlimited have actually got pretty good champion pools. They've both played a lot of different champions, and I quite like their styles of support. So, you know, deciding to prioritize the Thresh is a little surprising to me. Annie and Leona are still up, and we'll have to see how they go. That's even more impressive. They really wanted Caitlyn.
This is because Forgiven's only two champions he's played is Caitlyn and Lucian.
Yes.
They feel they may be putting Forgiven in a bad place here. However, Yasuo would be an interesting first pick. I'm not too sure they're going to go with that one. Instead, it's going to be Jinx and Annie.
So I'm a little bit nervous about this first pick Caitlyn for a couple of reasons. What the SUPA HOT CREW are saying is that the only person that they are afraid of really here is Forgiven. They feel that if they take Forgiven away, we praised Forgiven, his positioning and the stats that he's had in the game so far. Having Jinx, I still prefer as an AD carry, especially when you add that burst of Annie as well.
I mean, I managed to speak to Amazing this morning, and I was just like, you know, we were singing your praises yesterday with your 85% kill participation, and then you got completely camped and dumped on Zed. So for this game, can you actually just dump on me in the opening part? So maybe if we start giving some harsh words to Amazing, he'll start performing very well in this game, motivate him into it, I don't know. But we're seeing the jungler choice potentially here for Impaler. The fact that Vi is on the cards and they haven't gone straight for it tells me that they believe maybe there's a counter to it that Copenhagen Wolves know.
Yeah, I think, you know, the fact that Impaler is talking so much right now, you can see him on the left of your screen, this has to be the discussion point. What do they want to take? What champion are they going to lock in? I love the Ziggs as far as your wave clear is concerned. It's good defensively, it's good offensively, and very importantly, in conjunction with Pantheon, you can control the side lanes and the waves so incredibly efficiently.
Well, look at this. The Ziggs locking in there. You got the Mega Inferno Bomb followed by the Grand Skyfall. Everything all piling into one position.
I want a Leona.
They could get Leona. I was just about to say they could get a Leona alongside that. It would be a scary combo. We just saw it in action, of course, with the Grand Skyfall and the Solar Flare last game. But currently they are heading towards that Yasuo again. Is this going to be a mid laner up against Ziggs?
If it is Yasuo locked in, we may even see like a Wukong in the jungle. Somebody that can have that sort of interaction. I know in the Challenger series, we actually seen the Trundle Pillar, if put down on top of somebody, can actually throw somebody up. Or alternatively, Vi, guaranteed, there's going to be the displacement. If she knocks anybody else along the way, hey, you get bonus damage.
Well, you get the Assault and Battery combined with the Tibbers. That's a scary combo for that bottom lane. Chompers may even go down and completely lock someone up. Morgana support, that's something we have certainly seen before. Will migxa go for it?
Yeah, Vander actually played it. He was the first one that used it as the support in the LCS. Not necessarily the Leona, which I think I would have preferred. Yeah, that was going to say, I'm not believing that. I think I would have preferred the Leona. It's a little bit of a cleaner initiation. You're not reliant on like a flash Soul Shackles from Morgana or a stray Dark Binding. But nevertheless, still going to offer a lot of CC, a lot of AoE. And if Copenhagen Wolves are out spreading away, it allows Ziggs, Pantheon, and Caitlyn to single. So I quite like that idea, as long as they get a little bit ahead, that the Copenhagen Wolves are afraid of that stun.
Dr. Mundo is going to get locked in. That means he is going to be the tanky front man. And if you remember, cast your mind back to yesterday Impaler's game, he actually built fairly tanky on that Pantheon. So maybe he's just seen the work of Sven Skeren in the last game going, that's what I want. I want to get that Black Cleaver in there. I want to be doing all the damage.
And it's interesting that they favor the Dr. Mundo over the likes of Renekton or Trundle in the setup. And considering how squishy the rest of their targets are, maybe Impaler wants to build damage, having that super tank works. It worked for Soaz yesterday. That's how he got to that unkillable position. You know, use that ultimate and a nice combination. But as we see, once again, Trundle being the sort of tank killer in that top lane.
Yeah, it's what YoungBuck played yesterday, and he played it pretty damn well against Soaz, but as was proven, he didn't quite get it. Again, looks like they may both be running teleport this time around. Of course, we saw YoungBuck trying to split push, trying to help out the Wolves, and that was what was working for them. SUPA HOT CREW looked like they may try and do it, but yesterday, they were lacking the coordination when they tried to do this tactic. Yeah,
it didn't really work out. They got caught a little bit. Like, Fnatic got a lot of towers basically uncontested because the Wolves weren't grouped up to defend efficiently. We'll see if this combination is going to work a little bit more in their favor. I think having the very clear initiation of the Vi plus Yasuo plus Annie is definitely going to help the Wolves out. But they cannot afford to jump onto a team that's just going to then Soul Shackles and stun them up. So a lot of coordination required here for the Copenhagen Wolves.
Well, there you see the fantastic stage. We are live in Cologne studios. And as the champions do ready themselves up, let's see how you guys at home have called this game. According to LOLesports.com, 77% of you think the Copenhagen Wolves will be howling in victory.
I feel like that's pretty accurate. I would say, you know, three out of 4 people saying that. The Wolves have put up very good fights. SUPA HOT CREW have had flashes of brilliance, but they haven't necessarily challenged a lot of the bigger names. So we'll see how this works out. It's definitely not over in picks and bans. Both of these teams have got great compositions.
Well, we pointed out yesterday as well that 4 members of the SUPA HOT CREW are actually in the lowest KDA of all the teams. But we did just hear from Candy Panda that actually he believes that SUPA HOT CREW may be better in the opening lane phase.
Yeah, you know, the SUPA HOT CREW have got an aggressive laning phase. The problem for them comes in that the lead that they get or any advantage they gain, they don't garner, they don't push further down the line. So we'll have to see how this match plays out. They've definitely got the option to be very aggressive with that Ziggs and that Pantheon.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. SUPA HOT CREW as the blue team up against the Copenhagen Wolves as the red team. Top to bottom for the Wolves. We'll see how that Yasuo works out. And again, I'm trying to think whether it's another new champion for cowTard or whether he's played this one already. I'm starting to lose track because he really is differing his champion pool throughout the LCS.
cowTard's one of the most diverse mid laners so far this split.
Which, by the way, he actually loves, because when he previously played, he was only ever known for Zyra.
Yes, and his Zyra is still good. Not good enough to beat Alexic's Kha'Zix, though. That was a bit of a misplay in week 1, if memory serves. Forgiven, he's going to get a little bit of damage down into MrRalleZ, but it's the typical defensive start from basically all of the individual lanes. Nobody wanting to be invaded upon. There is a sweeping lens on the side of Amazing, so we may see Copenhagen Wolves group up in the next 20 or 30 seconds and maybe challenge for a buff. We'll just have to see.
Believe Unlimited has possibly built up the stun as well. And looking at his mana pool, more importantly, and seeing whether he's actually gone for that stun.
He has.
He has, so maybe we will see some form of invade from the Copenhagen Wolves here. We'll see whether they go for anything.
It's going to be interesting. If Unlimited was going to go for an invade, I would almost anticipate him moving up along with Amazing so they can make use of that sweeping lens. But as it stands, you actually see it's going to be cowTard making the first move. 130 is the time your trinkets become available for those wards, and we tend to see the vision and people backing away. Instant reply.
Double trinket. Sweeping lens by Amazing, though, was picked up early on, and he will take down that first ward. So that's going to clear out the vision. We'll see whether Impaler, remember, against SK Gaming, Impaler invaded that red buff a lot. Yeah,
there's a stun available in migxa. Oh, he's toying with his life. He's stunned!
He's stunned on towards migxa. Have they got enough damage? They're going to put a lot down. Oh, the Dark Binding completely missing. And now Forgiven switched across to MrRalleZ, trying to put down those rockets. Dodges, does get caught by the Piltover Peacemaker, though.
Oh, that was so close. I thought Unlimited was going to go in. He actually went a little bit like Dark Binding on Unlimited.
Dark Binding does catch him this time around. Piltover Peacemaker will be back available. Will it catch? Yes, he will. The Ignite! And another shot lands. MrRalleZ once again getting first blood.
I think Unlimited overstated the strength of that initial trade. Didn't anticipate that Dark Binding from the bush, and MrRalleZ and migxa making work with that first blood. We said Morgana wants to get ahead, and she already is. Dark Binding not available just yet. Gonna throw it out. Good flash.
Forces the flash from Forgiven, and that is both flashes now down in the bottom lane for Copenhagen Wolves. This is a fantastic start for SUPA HOT CREW.
So, first pick Caitlyn gives you first blood in the game, and your support Morgana definitely working out. SUPA HOT CREW's picks and bans theory crafting and then implementation in game has been brilliant so far, and we'll see if they can keep this one up. This is the lane we've got to keep our eye on, though, because once we get closer to level 6, cowTard may actually be able to just chunk down Moopz pretty hard.
Yeah, Moopz is got to be scared a little bit, because he's going to have to use simply those bombs or the flash as and when it's available to escape, because if cowTard gets on him, he will certainly be able to lay down a lot of damage. You can see he keeps building up that whirlwind and just throwing it out, trying to catch onto Moopz.
Now, one of the things we've seen from these Yasuo mid laners is they put the wind wall down. That's the Yasuo W, and it blocks any projectiles that come through. All of the Ziggs bombs are going to just be melted by that wall. So as long as cowTard is quick enough on his reactions, he can actually mitigate a lot of the poke and a lot of the damage that Moopz will be putting down on him.
And of course, he hasn't got mana to worry about. It simply builds up by his movement at the moment. Though YoungBuck up against Mimer in that top lane. This is a Mundo versus Trundle. It's a lane we have started to see developing quite standard in the LCS so far.
Yeah, and you know, in terms of this lane, it's YoungBuck's going to need some levels before he can, you know, start to challenge Mimer's Mundo. And once he gets that Subjugate up, he's going to be able to steal a lot of those defensive statistics. The one thing we are seeing with both of them in those teleports, whoever's going to have the better teleport ganks or teleport objective plays is going to help their teams. And YoungBuck, we've seen how effective he can be with it in the game yesterday.
And more impressively, cowTard is keeping ahead in terms of CS over Moopz. Moopz being pressured onto the tower on a Ziggs. A Ziggs, one of the strongest pushes you can get in that mid lane.
From what we've been seeing, though, it looks like Moopz is being a bit reserved with his spell usage. He's not using it to farm, and, you know, cowTard's just been playing quite safe. Amazing stood right over a ward, so Mimer's going to be able to back away fairly simply. But the question here is stun on cowTard. They've caught him.
Flash jump on towards him. Oh, the pack didn't land, and neither did the Heartseeker. So cowTard flashing out of that one. Now it's going to be the top lane. Amazing coming in. He's going to try and challenge and get the knock up on towards Mimer. He will not quite get it. The flash comes out, but Mimer is in. Have to make a long run here. That red buff will try and slow him down. It actually has run out on Amazing now, so maybe they won't quite have the damage. A good cleaver coming out from Mimer makes the escape.
Yeah, very nicely done. cowTard's in a little bit of trouble in mid.
All the mines, he's going to have to run across them. Now he will have to back off. He was trying to hang around as long as possible, but Moopz has managed to steal himself a victory in that mid lane.
Yeah, I also feel like cowTard's wind wall was a little awkward. He threw the wind wall towards Pantheon during the previous gank, and Pantheon's just going to jump through it with his stun anyway. So, going to be a little bit more calculated with how he uses that ability in future. As it stands, Impaler is now moving in, stealing away this wolf camp, and it's been a good day for Jungle Pantheon so far. Very impressive early games out of both of the players that we've seen.
Yeah, takes away the large wolf and backs away. Going to go buy himself a couple of items. We'll see how he progresses in his item build, whether we see him similar to Svenskeren or what he did yesterday. We're starting to go a little bit more tanky after a few damage items. Moopz, well, can't back away while you're in lane when there's cowTard on Yasuo, and that will force him to back off.
Yeah, cowTard's just trying to interrupt Moopz as much as possible. He's grabbed himself that Avarice Blade. Thanks to Yasuo's passive, he's going to have double the critical hit percentage. And of course, all the last hits just going to help him get to that static shiv just all that sooner. I think Moopz he overstated the strength of cowTard in those early stages. I feel like if he'd managed to bait out the wind wall and then put more poke down, would have helped him out.
Well, cancelling the attack animation and not taking down the siege minion is not going to help you get that gold advantage, which cowTard kind of needs right now. He has got the CS advantage still built up though, and it is a double Doran's ring, along with an amp tome being picked up by Moopz.
Yeah, we'll see how the next few minutes goes. Now that Yasuo is going to get closer to 6, and Amazing is very close to getting that Assault and Battery unlocked. I'm a little concerned for Moopz, because if he gets chased down by Impaler, the range on Yasuo's Final Breath, his ultimate, if I recall, is about 1,300 units. It's basically the length of a Caitlyn ace in the hole. So that's a massive range that you can follow somebody through, even if they flash or use that satchel charge.
Yeah, it is a big range. Don't forget the combo of SUPA HOT CREW. We haven't seen it yet. They are starting to hit level 6, so we'll start seeing whether that Grand Skyfall paired with the Mega Inferno Bomb, paired with maybe mixa's Dark Binding, it could all happen, and that's what we're going to be looking for. Yeah,
Impaler's come in from behind. cowTard's dove forward.
He's dove forward, immediately had to dash away. The mine's not quite catching him though, and he does manage to zap away there. Amazing is with him, and now they're looking to go for an invade on blue.
Yeah, as long as there's minions or things to dash to, cowTard can just keep using that E, the sweeping blade, to dash through things. Moopz and Impaler thinking about a fight, definitely toying with it. This is quite brave. It's going to become a 3-on-3 very quickly, and I think it's smart of Copenhagen Wolves to back away. cowTard dodges the cleaver. They haven't started the fight just yet.
Good damage onto Mimer there already. Maybe going to try and force the ultimate out of him. They are sticking around for this one. They want to try and challenge, and more importantly, they want to stop Moopz getting this, because a Ziggs without blue buff will be a lot harder to lane with.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't work out for the Copenhagen Wolves, though. They didn't really have the vision to pick this fight. That pink ward in the bush for SUPA HOT CREW allows them to secure this safely. And I think if Copenhagen Wolves were going to pick that fight, it was going to be blind, and they had no ultimate from Amazing. So they didn't have the tools or the power required to actually battle there.
We're of course seeing the difference in lane for MrRalleZ. Of course, he got that first blood, got that BF sword on early up against only a double Doran's for Forgiven. So really going to be bullying out this lane now, I feel, this Caitlyn and Morgana combo.
Yeah, it's a massive difference. MrRalleZ got 140 AD to the 99 of Forgiven right now. So for every single individual auto attack, that's a massive amount to make up for. Also, they have hit level 6 just before the Copenhagen Wolves, but I don't really think they're going to go for any sort of tower dive right now. So MrRalleZ and migxa just looking to gain control and try to mitigate as much farm from Forgiven as possible.
Of course, Amazing with Yasuo in the mid lane, which does mean that Amazing will take that blue buff, and then we'll see whether he goes for kills. And of course, that Assault and Battery is available. Looks like he's heading down to the bottom. Yasuo trying to step off. That may actually give them a little warning.
Yeah, with Amazing having his ultimate now as well, they're trying to defend this tower. It's one hit away from going down. And unfortunately for Copenhagen Wolves, SUPA HOT CREW don't stick around. So we see Amazing are going to kill the white behind him. Impaler's got Grand Skyfall. They may even consider a tower dive. Kill the tower, tower dive from behind. But there's a counter gank, so whoever gets more damage quicker is going to have the advantage. And look for the Grand Skyfall. I think that's going to be the starting point. Unlimited's gone in.
Flash Tibbers, Grand Skyfall was coming in, but actually got cancelled out there. Not too sure why he done that, but that may be the death of them. An amazing teleporting in there. Will catch on towards it. Does manage to get one down. Will he get a second? Didn't teleport in, of course. He came running down here. It's going to be Mimer getting caught. He was the one that teleported in. He's going to get caught out. Is it going to be enough? Mixer's one. Can they get a second kill? YoungBuck, will he have that pillar back up and available in a second? No, the cooldown was not available.
And now Moopz is coming here to just help defend. They end up trading just the 1 kill secured, and it was for Forgiven, thanks to the use of that super mega death rocket. A little bit of a sloppy fight from everybody. They threw everything into it, but Unlimited is basically the man of that fight. He flashed in, got the Tibbers down, if I recall, and stunned both MrRalleZ and migxa, giving Copenhagen Wolves the foot up in that battle.
And you just got to wonder, it's simply about that timing. The fact that Impaler was like, I'm going to Grand Skyfall behind, let's go ready to go now. Oh, damn, Tibbers is down there, and he cancelled it and just ran down instead. Maybe if it had gone down there and helped out, who knows. But nevertheless, they got themselves a dragon, and that is more than a kill.
Yeah, definitely. The tower and the dragon, it ends up being in favor of SUPA HOT CREW. They get a lot more global gold and global objectives. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb we were talking about, just great wave clear. Moopz is just making his way back to that mid lane, and it's going to be difficult for Copenhagen Wolves to split push or to play the map when Ziggs is going to be able to just wave clear so effectively.
YoungBuck, of course, had himself some time in this top lane while Mimer's going off to buy. Sunfire Cave's going to be coming out for Mimer shortly, building up towards that one. Meanwhile, YoungBuck going with the same way he did yesterday towards that Blade of the Ring.
Yeah, it's sort of actually the standard build on Trundle. We have seen a Ravenous Hydra, but I don't know. I think I prefer the Blade of the Rune King. He gets a lot of tanky stats that he can steal, and the kill potential is very, very high. Now migxa on this Morgana. We've seen him doing very well at level 1 and level 2. His Soul Shackles is just becoming available in the next few minutes, and I think the strength of those Soul Shackles in team fights will be apparent if they can split the Copenhagen Wolves up, because that's what SUPA HOT CREW want to do. Force the Wolves to spread apart, and then use the damage of their single target champions to find kills.
Forgiven being given the large wraith there, or the white, whichever you'd prefer to call it. Now he has got the BF sword, but again, you can see he's behind in builds. MrRalleZ, bloodthirster completed. And now, looking to try and lane wait and maybe set something. They're just going to keep that lane frozen, and they want to force Forgiven and Unlimited to be well away from a tower. Yeah,
truthfully, the tools of Jinx, even though she's a little behind in damage, will actually basically balance out with that Bloodthirster because of all the additional burst that she can put down. Copenhagen Wolves right now grouped up in this mid lane, trying to push the wave down into the tower, but they're not committing to actually attacking the tower due to both of them being melee champions. So a little bit afraid of being caught out. They're actually making their way bottom. Ultimates are available for both Amazing and for cowTard.
Well, SUPA HOT CREW read that one coming a mile away. migxa just gone up and placed that ward in there. Now we're seeing, of course, they are sat on top of it. So not going to be learning anything. Bomb rolls in, says, yeah, we know you're there, guys. Just go away and leave the bottom lane alone.
I always wonder why players do that. I always think, why not leave them there?
Yeah.
Play
just leave them there a little bit longer, yeah.
Just as a thought. But nevertheless, Moopz gets a little bit of additional damage. cowTard returns to this mid lane, throws out that Steel Tempest. A little bit of damage onto Moopz, but he doesn't have a lot of additional attack damage built up right now. And SUPA HOT CREW still with a small gold lead. And we're just seeing cowTard actually. Maybe not knowing the full distance of that sweeping blade.
Oh, it's nice to see 3 pro players still make the errors, because everybody else at home that's watching is like, yeah, I've done that before. But as it stands, Blue Buff is back up again. SUPA HOT CREW coming in for this one. Doesn't look like it's going to get contested this time around by the Wolves.
Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket's going out. It should be secured. The bang! No, that was close.
Not enough splash damage onto Impaler. Not very, very close, though.
That was so close. If that had been like half a second later, Forgiven may have been able to pick it up, but nice play. That was blind as well, actually. There's no vision in that blue buff pit for the Copenhagen Wolves, so that was very good timing on the side of Forgiven. In terms of our supports, there's just seen the coin being picked up now for migxa. That's the first GP10 item, as both of the supports rushed that Sightstone, wanting the HP and wanting the additional vision that's garnered from that item.
Well, of course, the Talisman helps out on the Morgana support as well. Gives him that mobility to try and get in there with that ultimate run-in. Try and help out if you can get the talisman built up. Of course, at the moment, it's only at the Ancient Coin. We've got a couple of stages to go. Yeah, Pink Ward being cleared out by Mimer, and it's going to back off, complete that Sunfire Cape. Blade of the Rune King has just been completed by YoungBuck in the top lane as well.
I feel like SUPA HOT CREW have got some very early sweeping lenses right now. They've only got one tower down, they picked up one dragon, but 3 of the members on their team have gone for sweepers, and I'm actually pretty sure this is more sweepers at this early stage of the game than we've seen in many of the other LCS games. So we'll see how they make use of it, if they want to go for invades or if they want to have defensive lens clears. Another interesting thing, blue buff given to Forgiven. That was donated to Forgiven, maybe to try and help him get more of those rocket splash damage down or more super megas. We'll see how it works out.
Well, that rocket is back up. We'll see whether he does try and make use of it. Of course, we did see in the previous game Candy Panda firing one from the bottom of the map and getting that kill on Froggen in the mid lane. As it stands, it looks like it may well be towards the top that they are heading. The Wolves want to go on towards Mimer.
And as you say
and
that,
they
decide to back away.
They stepped over a ward, the pings went down and went, nope,
I think
back off.
The slower pace of the game right now is a testament to both teams not wanting to make a mistake, not wanting to commit to a play that's overly aggressive, because they can respond fairly well. You've got the Globals and SUPA HOT CREW with that Grand Skyfall and with the Mega Inferno Bomb. It is quite scary, so we'll see how the gank plays out. Amazing. Sitting in that top tri-bush, Impaler has read him fairly well. He was in the mid lane a moment ago, now he's making his way to the top lane. We'll see how the tower guy goes. Going to back away.
Yeah, he's going to back away. I mean, we saw it in the previous game with Lee Sin trying to go in on Shook, trying to help out, but Impaler on Pantheon is a very strong champion. Dragon up in 40 seconds. cowTard just going to launch by Moopz and eating a bomb as well. 3 members of SUPA HOT CREW stacking up on this mid lane turret.
Yeah, with Dragon up in 30 seconds, now I'm even less... I think it's less likely for teams to make an aggressive play unless they catch someone completely out of position. So Dragon's up in 30. Vision right now is in favor of the Copenhagen Wolves. They've got a little more wards in that area, and I think they've got slightly better positioning to roam down. But teleports are both up for Mimer as well as YoungBuck. So if the fight were to break out, those two could join in very, very quickly.
Yeah, the Wolves are ready to go full defensive duty, but they've actually left MrRalleZ to just free farm down that bottom lane. So he's managed to shove that wave in and now making his way up towards this Dragon pit area. Dragon now up, and he's going to get started off by the Wolves. And SUPA HOT CREW a little bit out of position. They tried the pincer move yesterday to much...
disarray.
Disarray, I think is one way of calling it, without being too harsh. It was a pretty bad move, and this time they choose wisely not to go for it.
Yeah, and actually, because of that, Copenhagen Wolves being a little closer to the Dragon, SUPA HOT CREW have now started on this inner turret. Amazing, he's gone in!
They've channeled on towards Impaler, but again, you see the Dark Shield coming out. The Mega Death Rocket's going to get launched out, but is it going to be enough? It's Impaler that gets 1 kill. That's a second for migxa. Now YoungBuck's in trouble. He's going to get focused down, and SUPA HOT CREW doing work. Ace in the hole! Will get another kill down as well. Forgiven's got to run. He just took a cleaver to the backside. They may push on this one. Dark Binding flash from migxa. Not quite going to find his target. Forgiven having to flash out the danger.
So they get the tower, they get 3 kills, and now they're on the inner turret as well. They're not stopping.
They're going to keep on shoving through here. Forgiven's doing what he can, throwing out that zap, but that's an inner turret down. A great, great execution from SUPA HOT CREW.
So 2 things in that particular fight. Number 1, Amazing started with that assault and battery while the rest of the team weren't necessarily close enough to respond. The next thing on that is the final breath from Yasuo was not actually used. cowTard still has his spell available. It didn't knock anybody up, didn't get that extra damage down, and he wasn't a factor. So the fight was over before it really began, thanks to SUPA HOT CREW picking up that kill, and a massive gold lead right now. 2 towers, a dragon, and 3 kills. Giant
advantage, and if you cast your mind back to the discussions between these two, SUPA HOT CREW talking about the great decisiveness that Copenhagen Wolves have, and honestly, Copenhagen Wolves had nothing nice to say about the SUPA HOT CREW, but right now, the SUPA HOT CREW is showing them what decisions should be made in a game.
Now, I also want to talk about how impactful that Morgana is. Because of the soul shackles and the fact that it takes time to channel to get that stun. If YoungBuck, Amazing, and cowTard, being melee champions, dive into a fight, the moment 3 of them are in range, migxa hits the R and says, come on, stay around, I dare you. Because you're going to get stunned, you're going to get locked down, and they're going to finish you off. So it's actually a very good reactive support as opposed to Leona. It looks like they're going to trade towers at this point. Top 1 actually defended by SUPA HOT CREW.
Yeah, and that's a lot of damage on YoungBuck there, realizing, of course, he's not a tank, and MrRalleZ does a hell of a lot of damage. He's gone for that Legolas build. Meanwhile, the Copenhagen Wolves, they're pushing down this bottom lane, but Impaler and Mimer should have enough to defend them in stack. They might even go aggressive. They're going to jump onto cowTard. He's going to see Moopz coming in. The bomb Bomb doesn't quite do the damage, but Grand Skyfall may well do. cowTard's going to run for his life. It's going to be Unlimited they're focused on. He turns it around. Heartseeker manages to get the damage down. Mimer gets himself a kill. Meanwhile, this is all happening. MrRalleZ gets himself a kill in YoungBuck at the top lane and takes the tower. It is all going SUPA HOT CREW's way. 6,000
gold lead, and Moopz actually pushed Unlimited closer to Impaler's Pantheon. They're using the satchel charge. Unlimited's trying to get away. Now, Amazing does have Assault and Battery up, but he can't pick a fight. That's a Bloodthirster Last Whisper. We'll see how much damage he takes in return.
Yeah, they just turn around and fight this one. Great point-blank Dark Bind in there as well from migxa, who's actually been landing them very well so far. Got himself boots and mobility on a Morgana support.
Yeah, why not? And again, similar thing. You want to throw Soul Shackles and get in range. This was the kill that we missed up in the top lane. My guess is a Dark Binding hits, and then just MrRalleZ hammers away. That just looked too easy, actually.
It's very easy, and that's the danger of obviously taking a Trundle. You know, no tank stats on him right now. Went for that Blade of the Rune King, because so simply he can't leech any hit points because he's doing it on an AD carry and a support.
What I also like about the decision here from SUPA HOT CREW is, yes, they were defending their top tower, but they put their AD carry and support up against YoungBuck, who's got a Negatron Cloak.
Yeah.
It's too physical damage from Caitlyn just to help negate that defensive item that YoungBuck had picked up. So pretty good play here from the SUPA HOT CREW. You can actually see migxa once again trying to roam around. He's going to find himself running into cowTard in just a moment, so he's got to be a little bit careful here. Copenhagen Wolves do finally respond. They get that top tower. It was incredibly low.
migxa doing a good job taking down that pink ward. Very dangerous play from him. The Copenhagen Wolves were moving in on this now. Well, yesterday, so let's focus on what Copenhagen Wolves did. They were in a similar situation against Fnatic, a far more experienced than SUPA HOT CREW team, and they managed to combine themselves. However, they're fallen 5,000 goal hold behind. They're only about 3, maybe 2,000 at the max time against Fnatic. And SUPA HOT CREW, you know, they're feeling the snowball, and they're really pressuring Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, SUPA HOT CREW can't afford to make the same mistake Fnatic made by picking a fight that'll go wrong. SUPA HOT CREW are quite powerful right now. It looked like something was going to happen. Teleport was not available from either of the top laners, but instead, SUPA HOT CREW back away. That was over just a Wraith camp.
Nice, and the hole being used on Unlimited. That's going to force him away. They do clear out the pink ward as well in that bush, and everyone's going to rotate towards his top lane. YoungBuck, he can't seem to go head-to-head with Mimer right now. Tries to manage to back away. The rest of the Copenhagen Wolves trying to come around. They know that there's a potential split off here, but the SUPA HOT CREW already on this tower and doing work on it. Look at MrRalleZ just hammering it down. Moopz is going to come around. That tower's going to drop any second. There it is. Windwall goes out, but it's going to be nothing. That's going to be a 5-man Mega Inferno bomb, and that's going to be again migxa going in, popping that ultimate, stunning everyone from the Wolves. They are dropping like flies. MrRalleZ cleaning up. A great explosive there, and Forgiven goes down. It's a triple kill for MrRalleZ.
Hashtag LCS big plays. That was the moment. The first pick Caitlyn is 6-0-3. MrRalleZ is doing a fantastic job of controlling this game. SUPA HOT CREW have turned the aggression up. They realized the tower was undefended, grouped up for it, and as soon as they got the tower, they initiated the fight. Once again, migxa's Soul Shackles being so impactful during the course of the battle, and cowTard, I really don't think this Yasuo is having any form of impact or slowing SUPA HOT CREW at all.
A 22-minute inhibitor going down, and like you say, it's just hashtag big plays there. Moopz, 5-man Mega Inferno bomb. That's what you want to be landing it on. Great teamwork from SUPA HOT CREW. Compared to yesterday, they didn't quite seem to have the decisiveness, the decision making. Maybe they're just the confidence they gained from beating SK Gaming has certainly stepped them up here, because now they have a 9,000 gold lead and an inhibitor down. They are well in control of this game.
Very interestingly, at 23 minutes on the clock, if they were to go for something like a Baron, they would need Mimer with them to tank it up. There's not a lot of armor or defensive stats across the rest of the board. A little bit on Moopz rather, but I think SUPA HOT CREW have the option now to set up a ring of wards. They've got 3 sweeping lenses they've had for a while, deny vision from Wolves, and pull the Wolves towards them. If you can pull the Wolves towards them, that super minions are then in the base, you can just peel, re-engage, and pick a fight.
Well, we do see SUPA HOT CREW with 20 seconds on the clock moving into position for that dragon. They are a wee bit early. Maybe they're going to try and steal away the blue buff. Sweeping lenses going down, making sure there's nothing in there, getting full vision control. Something, again, they were lacking yesterday.
Yeah, I think if you go back and look at the VOD, it was very apparent. They didn't have enough wards. They didn't really deny their opponent's vision. And it's actually a fairly easy fix. You talk about it, you discuss who's going to be buying wards and at what points. And if you look at the Ring of Vision now, Dragons just respawned and there's a lot of entry vision towards that pit. So if SUPA HOT CREW start this one off, they'll be well aware of the Wolves' positioning, and there you go. Impaler's going to pull it. The rest of the team's able to respond. Mimer's even split pushing, keeping Forgiven busy.
And this is one of the big things. Impaler is happy right now on Pantheon. This is what we found. When he was playing Vi, it was working wonders. SUPA HOT CREW winning games. He finds himself a new champion, finally, which he's been struggling with over the time. Suddenly, their shot call is seemingly Impaler, has suddenly feeling good. He can make the calls. He's 2-0-3, working well.
SUPA HOT CREW also just completely outlaned the Copenhagen Wolves. You know, Mimer held even with YoungBuck. He was actually ahead for a little while. You know, Moopz has stayed even on CS cowTard, has had very little impact. And then MrRalleZ and migxa, from the very get-go, from that first blood, have been doing work. A lot of attack damage on MrRalleZ Caitlyn, so this tower's going to drop. That's YoungBuck, who's meant to be semi-tanky, loses a third of his HP from that ace in the hole. It's not enough armor.
He's desperately trying to get the Warden's Mail, trying to prevent anything. But look at this, minions pushing on towards the Nexus turrets in that top lane. And again, SUPA HOT CREW starting to push on towards the bottom inhibitor turret now. And honestly, I'm not too sure whether the Copenhagen Wolves can fend this off.
SUPA HOT CREW got such a good sieging team with the range and Caitlyn and the poke from Ziggs. It makes it fairly safe to poke it. First Nexus turret has already fallen thanks to super minions.
And it's also taken, look, a third of the hit points already off the second one. Forgiven, is doing as much as he can to try and defend it, but he needs to get down here now because SUPA HOT CREW continue pushing.
It's too early in the game for Jinx's damage to actually fend off that many super minions. That's why it took so much time to fight it. It's also the reason I think they pulled cowTard to defend the tower as opposed to leaving Jinx there. There's more attack damage on Jinx, so she can, in theory, hold it off just a little bit longer.
And the pressure gives them the blue buff as well to take everything away. Can they try and set up a kill? You can see Mimer, he's sticking around. There is a ward, however, just off at the side that they can't see, which is giving Copenhagen Wolves just that little bit of vision they require. And look at that, blue buff for Moopz. Let's go back and keep the pressure going.
Just keep sieging, keep throwing out those bouncing bombs. The super minions are about to push past that inhibitor line in the top lane, and that's what SUPA HOT CREW are looking for. Get the minions in and then push forward. Even Windwall, that was late, and it's got about 20-odd second cooldown, so there's this little respite now for SUPA HOT CREW to spam more abilities.
Far too late, ace in the hole, again chunking YoungBuck down. Now they're going to move in. This inhibitor turret surely going to drop this time around. They're going to keep the pressure on. Down, it lands on towards YoungBuck. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb, gets one, and Limited also having to back away. While this is all happening, Forgiven's desperately trying to keep the Nexus turrets alive. That is going to be the inhibitor turret going down. A pounce onto Amazing. Amazing tries to dash away from this one. cowTard trying to run, trying to clear the minions, saving the Nexus turret briefly because the inhibitor turrets has spawned in the top. Sorry, the inhibitor did, but that's the bottom inhibitor going down. Flash Timbers coming out from Unlimited, catches 5 members of SUPA HOT CREW. They're dropping like flies. cowTard finally starts to get himself 1, gets himself 2, jumps around. Moopz is going to get caught out. Amazing's going to beat him down. He's going to get the support once again of Unlimited chasing in on him. Has he got enough? Moopz flashes away. Hasn't going to have the mana to try and regen on this one. Is going to get caught once again. The team's closing in. Gives the explosive pack. Will get away, but Copenhagen Wolves, they're running for Baron.
That was a 4-man final breath from cowTard after me calling him out saying I'm not convinced so far. He manages to get a massive ability, holding SUPA HOT CREW up in the air. The problem is the damage is done. Inhibitor is down on the bottom lane. They've lost the Nexus turret. They're trying to fight Baron, and maybe they can stall this game out. Baron's going down. Mimer is going to need to pull a hero defense if he grabs this.
What infected cleaver could he throw out here? I don't think it's going to quite land. It doesn't come through. And the Copenhagen Wolves, would you believe it, after yesterday, get themselves a Baron.
Still 10,000 gold behind. They've got 2 inhibitors basically exposed. There's only the 2 turrets left on the map for them. This has to be a superhero defense for the Copenhagen Wolves because SUPA HOT CREW, they're not stopping. Wolves are trying to recall, and HOT CREW, they want the last inner turrets.
Rushing straight on through. Oh, not going to quite take Unlimited down. The rest of Copenhagen Wolves separated from this one, and this may well be another inhibitor turret going down. It will be, and the SUPA HOT CREW react perfectly and take their final defensive turrets down.
This is going to be so difficult for Copenhagen Wolves to defend. They do have Baron though, so they've got a lot of fighting stats and regen to hold off extended sieges. But they've got no turrets to fall back to, so they don't have that safety net or that safety line to hold on to. So the question for SUPA HOT CREW, can they catch somebody off guard? Can they get a dark binding and pop someone quickly? Because that could be their way into a victorious team fight.
Whew, let's slow things down here. Let's take stock of the situation. And as you mentioned, 10,000 gold lead, 9 2-in turrets, pretty much taking everything away. One singular Nexus turret, the only thing standing let's look at the items, because cowTard had to switch. Ordinarily, you'd see Static Shiv, Infinity Edge. Instead, he had to go for that Hexdrinker because they had nothing to stop Moopz just shredding the team and migxa getting in and stunning everyone.
Copenhagen Wolves needed like power now, which is the reason you see that pickaxe and Vamp Scepter and Hexdrinker. You know, cowTard has only got 2 towers to work with. They haven't really got sniffs of the dragons. They haven't been on the SUPA HOT CREW side of the map at all, really. You know, for the last 15, 20 minutes, they've been playing defensively and trying to hold off the SUPA HOT CREW siege. With teleport being up for Mimer, I think SUPA HOT CREW have to start the split push game. Get the waves pushing in their favor, get them knocking on the inhibitors, and then quickly rotate to one where they'll have a numbers advantage on the Wolves.
Well, don't forget, with that Baron up, with those super minions pushing through on that bottom lane, it will actually give a chunk of gold to the players that need it, and it is forgiven. He's starting to stack out, and as you point out, Infinity Edge now is built.
So it's a little bit later than we're used to seeing on the Yasuos, and he's got, like, I think a 90% critical hit range now, so thanks to his passive. There's a lot of burst that can come down. There is, however, a fair amount of armor on the side of SUPA HOT CREW. You've got Mimer, Impaler, and Moopz all sitting with a good amount of armor. Even migxa has got himself that Warden's Mail, so we'll see how effective it becomes when the fights break out.
Well, cowTard will wipe out this top wave. Static Shiv, no problems there. So, Static Shiv, Infinity Edge, he will start popping them down. Dragon's about to spawn any second. It's there, guys, trust me. Trust me, it is there, but they're just going to wipe it out. Good old Invisible Dragon, there he drops. So, SUPA HOT CREW continue their advantage. Wisely not pushing into a Baron up Copenhagen Wolves here. They will take their time and will continue to buy items.
So that's 4 out of 4 dragons now for SUPA HOT CREW. Copenhagen Wolves have not been able to challenge, and I think having 3 inhibitors exposed, they're not going to be able to move outside their base without having a massive amount of vision. We need to see 2 things being purchased on all members for the Wolves. They have to get home guard boots, and they have to buy wards so they can get, you know, wall vision. They can't run the risk of being backdoored or losing an inhibitor to SUPA HOT CREW.
And you talk about vision. There's not a lot of vision for SUPA HOT CREW right now, and nobody went back and bought wards there either. So they're not going to have massive control just yet. So Copenhagen Wolves actually have better vision on the, certainly their half of the jungle than SUPA HOT CREW will.
Yeah, they need it as well. You know, having no towers to fall back to, there is no room for error. Copenhagen Wolves are going to be, you know, striding a knife blade. We do see them trying to set up, looking to catch somebody, but I don't think SUPA HOT CREW are going to become split up enough for Copenhagen Wolves to pick that fight.
Well, they're in a 4-man dance. It's going to be amazing. Oh, actually sidestepping there. Not too sure Mimer's going to be too worried about that with his Randian's Omen, Warmogs and Sunfire Caves. Just quite happy to stand and watch the jungler try and hit him.
He's only got 4,000 hit points. I'm not sure it's enough on this Doctor Mundo. But now, thanks to the power that SUPA HOT CREW have, Baron has worn off on the Copenhagen Wolves. They're going to siege the inhibitor. And like we said, there's no tower to fall back to. So the Wolves, if they want to get a fight, they have to look for SUPA HOT CREW to be grouped up as a team and get that combo of Tibbers plus Final Breath, etc.
You know, I don't think I've seen once cowTard land that wind wall and actually block one of those ace in the holes that keep on coming through. Copenhagen Wolves tried to use that talisman to chase this one down, and SUPA HOT CREW reacting nicely. They're going to jump on Amazing, course him away. The zap once again, keeping him at bay, but it's going to be unlimited, getting caught out here. Mimer's going to keep on pushing through. Mega Inferno Bomb catching 4 members of the Wolves once again, and that frees up the side to take the inhibitor.
Yeah, that Mega Inferno Bomb was all that the SUPA HOT CREW needed. They traded coin, Talisman of Ascension for Talisman of Ascension when Copenhagen Wolves tried to pick the fight, but Amazing, he didn't use Assault and Battery. He still has it available, as is the Final Breath. Copenhagen Wolves need to decide to fight because they have fended off that inhibitor. It looks like it's still alive, so at least they hold on to 1, but not necessarily for much longer.
SUPA HOT CREW doing a great job at kiting Copenhagen Wolves away here. We already saw YoungBuck down to half hit points. He's had to back to the fountain, so still only 4 members defending right now as SUPA HOT CREW push back in. They want to take down that second inhibitor. They just can't get close enough to it yet.
SUPA HOT CREW are doing a good job in not stacking up. They're not allowing multiple members to get caught out by that knock-up Final Breath combo. So as long as SUPA HOT CREW can maintain this, it'll work in their favor. The Mega Inferno Bomb's not available for Moopz yet, and I think what they'll do is wait for it to become available, then go in, throw down the bomb, and try pick up another inhib.
Moopz actually getting caught out by not taking away the final lizard there this time around. So he went for blue buff and went, oh, I forgot to clear it last time, didn't I? So that's kind of actually backfired on himself, but nevertheless, the Mega Inferno Bomb will be back available in a few moments. Of course, everybody on Copenhagen Wolves has regened all their health, so SUPA HOT CREW simply sieging this one out.
Yeah, super minions are now getting closer to joining that mid lane. So if they manage to get to the Nexus turret, Copenhagen Wolves will have to respond, and that's going to be where SUPA HOT CREW get in. It is still 50 seconds away from Baron, so even if this siege doesn't necessarily grab the inhibitor, SUPA HOT CREW could back away and go for that Baron buff. Inhibitor's going down, they're jumping on MrRalleZ.
They tried to get on towards him, but they're not going to get close enough. Amazing goes in, but he's so low on hit points already. Have they got enough? MrRalleZ trying to kite them. Yes, he does. Gets taken down by cowTard. Now he switches on towards Moopz. Can he lock him down? Soon Sonya's hourglass comes out, but again, it's Copenhagen Wolves that are just chopping through SUPA HOT CREW. They've got 4 members already. Mimer's the only man standing, runs for his life.
There's super minions on the Nexus turret though. Copenhagen Wolves have to back away. They've lost the turret. Copenhagen Wolves now have no objectives left on the map with the exception of those inhibitors.
And the Nexus turret taking damage as well, but it will get cleared out by Copenhagen Wolves. But again, we see them winning out a team fight. That's got to be a big danger sign for the SUPA HOT CREW.
There are still super minions going down the middle lane. So if SUPA HOT CREW can respawn and respond quickly for Baron, maybe they can get there. Copenhagen Wolves are aware of this, and they're actually pushing for Baron themselves. YoungBuck started this one off, I think, once Forgiven gets in range with that rocket launcher over the wall. They may have enough damage to pick it up.
Yeah, you see Mimer just sticking around. That's going to be 2 members spawned. Don't forget Grand Skyfall is available from Impaler. He could jump on this one and try and go for the smite still. We don't have Amazing yet here, so smite is not available for the Wolves. He's going to start running into distance. Mimer keeping vision. This is very slow down. Look in the bottom corner. You can see the hit points of that Baron, and now it's going to be SUPA HOT CREW coming in. Grand Skyfall comes in now, and Forgiven's gone down. They're going to have to run for their life. They're going to switch and go for Baron. Amazing's going to come in. Can he go for the steal now? Mimer's going to tank this one out. There's going to be have to go for it any second now. They're going to delay. They've delayed it so they can go for Amazing. Amazing is tanking the Baron. This is all going wrong for him. He's going to have to try and get away. Assault Battery goes into 1. He does manage to get down migxa. Amazing's going to get dropped low. He goes down. It's back and forth action. MrRalleZ is in trouble. He's got YoungBuck beating him down, but the rest of the Wolves have fallen, and the SUPA HOT CREW get an ace.
They've done it. There's a teleport into the inhibitor. Mimer's on the Nexus. SUPA HOT CREW beating the Wolves.
What a game. Back and forward action for the SUPA HOT CREW. They sure made a lot of work of it with the advantage they had, but it will be a great week for the SUPA HOT CREW, taking their 2nd victory in week 3, and the SUPA HOT CREW finally close out the game, taking down the Copenhagen Wolves.
2-0 on the week, and that was a brilliant performance. I was very nervous about that first pick, Caitlin. I wasn't sure if that was the right call, and they proved me wrong. 8-3-7 on MrRalleZ. Pantheon has to be a must-man now against Impaler because that was a great performance.
And 5-1-10 as well for Moopz, a great 6 from him. The Mega Inferno bombs multiple times, landing on 4-5 members of the Copenhagen Wolves.
From the get-go, I think SUPA HOT CREW, that was a very similar performance to what we've seen in the previous game from SK Gaming. They won their lanes, translated it to mid-game strength, and then just, they closed quite efficiently. Yes, cowTard had 2 very good team fights, but overall, it was just too late. He needed those fights earlier in the game. He needed them on the roams or on the ganks, and it just wasn't there for the members of Copenhagen Wolves.
And for the Wolves, you know, we talked about how Fnatic maybe have focused on Roccat yesterday and then turned on towards a tough battle up against Fnatic. But the Copenhagen Wolves themselves, maybe they focused a little too much attention on Fnatic and didn't really give the respect to SUPA HOT CREW that he deserved.
We heard it during the interview. YoungBuck saying, you know, maybe we've been a little overconfident. We've seen it in the preview match video, saying, you know, SUPA HOT CREW do this wrong, SUPA HOT CREW do this wrong. At some point, you're going to say, well, what did we do wrong? Where did we lose the game? Because I feel like SUPA HOT CREW just outclassed Copenhagen Wolves in this game. In this game, it was SUPA HOT CREW outplaying. They landed the abilities they needed to. They picked the fights that were correct, and they made it work.
migxa getting that first blood, helping out MrRalleZ in that bottom lane. Dark Binding landing. So many big plays. What was yours in that one? I mean, we talk about it, the top lane, that top lane fight, surely.
I'm going to be honest. I actually think the 4-man final breath from cowTard's Yasuo, when he was defending on the inner lane, got the knock-up, got 4 members of the SUPA HOT CREW. That is the best Yasuo ultimate I have seen in the LCS, and I think that has to be a hashtag LCS big play.
Fantastic game, fantastic matches, and of course there is 2 more to come.